everyone, my name is Dave White. I am the owner of NSR Tactical. Today we are at the Holstersmith workshop and we are going to be making a two-piece knife sheath. This is just a sample so you know what we're talking about. Some of the tools that we prefer to use is an arbor press, some tape, a measuring device, a Stabilo pencil, an OmniGrid straight edge, a razor knife, countersink, some protective equipment, thermometer. Today we're going to be using a vacuum press and a t-shirt press along with a drill press and a sander. The materials you're going to be using is KYDEX, eyelets, and your molding prop. So let's get started. The first step in making a two-piece knife sheath is we have to determine how much material we actually need. We're going to take our mold prop and we're going to place it on our material. Then we're going to determine how wide it needs to be. 6 inches is a good number. So we're going to mark out 6 inches and 6 inches. We're going to take our straight edge and our razor knife. We're going to score it. Once, twice. And then we're going to break it. Now this is a two-piece, so we have to have a top and a bottom. This is already 6 inches. A little under, but it'll be all right. Now we have our two pieces, and we're ready for the next step, which is forming. Now we're ready to heat and form our two-piece pancake sheath. We want to move this out of the way. We want shiny side up, grainy side, shiny side up, underneath the parchment paper. Put that in there. Move this over and close it. Now while this is heating up, we have a little extra time, so I'm going to talk about what we have set up over here. Now we got a piece of Supermax foam in here from Holstersmith and 2 rags. The rags are going to act as air escape for when we go ahead and flip the switch here. What's going to happen is I'm going to lay the two pieces, or the one piece here. I'm going to place my mold on there. I'm going to place my other piece on top. Okay. The other thing is you want these rags, and it doesn't really matter what kind of rags they are. You want these rags as close to the KYDEX as you possibly can get. The main reason is definition. Okay. If you don't get these rags close or use rags at all, this silicone membrane right here will create a seal around the outside of this foam, and it won't evacuate the air on top. So then you won't get any definition. So you want these rags up here close to like this. All right, the KYDEX is ready to come out. Flip that up, move that out of the way. Place our piece there. Put our knife there. The other piece on top. Close the lid. Flip the switch. Now I'm using my thumb to detail definition into the sheath. Quick note. You want to be careful of any sharp points. Now this is pretty dull. You can kind of see it where it's starting to stretch right there and it's starting to turn white. You have to be careful of sharp points in this membrane. Otherwise you will poke a hole in it. So throwing a couple layers of tape on sharper edges will do wonders. Now we're going to just let this cool, Should take about 5 minutes if we air cool it. Alternately, you can take a bucket of water, add some ice, get a rag, soak that rag, and then place it on top. And that will cool it off much faster. We're talking 30 seconds. So we're going to let this cool off, and we'll be back. All right, it's been about 5 minutes, and it's cooled off now. How you can tell is if you lay your hand on there, and it's just warm to the touch, it's ready to come out. Turn off our valve, open her up, take a look at our definition. I'm pretty happy with that. As you can see, it has a slight bow, which is fine. Obviously, we're going to have an outside and an inside. Now, as a side note, which I didn't mention before, is that the texture side is on the outside. Now we're going to move on to the design layout. All right, now we're going to do the layout design of our two-piece pancake style sheath. Now this is where your creative mind can really flourish. There's an unlimited amount of designs out there. You have to just experiment with what you're doing. This is how I do it. First things first, this just came out of the press and it's stuck together. So I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver to help me get up in here. I'm just going to go around the outside. I'm just going to give it a little twist. Sometimes they can really get stuck together. Okay. All right, we're going to set the back piece off to the side. And we're going to draw on the front piece. You always want to draw on the front. So now we have to determine our design. We also have to determine where the retention is going to be. On this particular knife, this has a big lump right there. So that's going to be our retention point. We don't want to be so far up as is that it won't come out. So we'll come out about right there, and we'll have enough going into the sheath that we'll have enough retention. Now, 3/8 of an inch is kind of the magic number for me. We're going to do 3/8 from the blade is going to be our first eyelet, and then another 3/8 to the edge of the sheath. So we're going to determine how high this is going to be. So we already determined about right there. Now we'll do 7/8 from this side. We'll do 7/8 from this side. Come down here, another 7/8. And then another 7/8. Draw our straight line. Draw our straight line. Now, note, you can have these parallel, or you can have them matching the blade. It's really up to you. It really doesn't matter. So we'll go ahead and draw a vertical line across the top. Now we need to put in our eyelet line. It's going to be 3/8 from the outside in. And then we need to determine how many eyelets we're actually going to put in here. Now, I typically do 3/4. That way it matches up with our attachments. So we'll do, we got this hump right here, and we don't want to get an eyelet too close to this hump, so we'll do 1/2 inch. And then we'll do several 3/4 inch spacing. We'll just put a line there, there, there. 5 will probably be good. Okay. And then we'll do 3/8 from there and do a down line. So this is going to be the bottom of our sheath. So now we'll do the other side. ½ inch. And then 3/4. 3/4. 3/4. And 3/4. And then 3/8. Now, what I'm just going to do, actually, let's determine the bottom. So let's see, the point is right there. I'm going to call it right there. Right there. I'm going to draw a flat line across. And I'll pick a number to have a couple angles here. So we'll do ½ inch. That's going to be the design of our sheath. All right, now we're going to drill our 2-piece pancake knife sheath. There's a couple things that you're going to see me do. One, I'm going to use these clamps to hold the 2 pieces together. The other thing is you have to have the mold inside the sheath so the 2 pieces line up perfectly. The other thing I'm going to use is this drill guide. This is a 3/4 inch hole pattern, so the holes are nice and straight and evenly spaced. I'm going to use a couple longer eyelets. I believe these are 8/12s or 8/10s to hold the drill guide in place. So let's do it. right, now we have our holes in our two-piece pancake style knife sheath. Now we need to clean them. And how we're going to do that is we're going to use this countersink bit. This, I believe, is a 1/2 inch. As long as it's bigger than the holes that you're drilling, which we're drilling 1/4 inch holes, you should be good. So a 3/8 bit or a 1/2 inch, 5/8, doesn't really matter. So let's get to it. Now that the holes are clean, now it's time to put eyelets in. Now you want to make sure that when you insert the eyelet, you insert through the crayon side. Hey guys, we're going to take a little break right now, and I'm just going to say that if you have any questions about any of this, go ahead and shoot me an email, dave@nsrtactical.com, and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions. Also, if this looks like it's too much, or you just a lot of equipment to invest in, or if you just don't have the time, go ahead and take a look at our website, nsrtactical.com, and we'll be able to make anything you want. All right, thanks for watching. Now let's get back to it. Now when you put the eyelet on the die, you want to make sure that it's fully seated. And you want to clean out any remaining little chunks and burrs. Now we have our eyelets in, now it's time to cut. One thing I want to mention when you cut is cut a little bit on the outside of the line, because you can always sand a little more off, but you can't put more on. So let's do it. All right, we just got done with our rough cut. Now we need to sand. I'm going to be using the OmniGrid for this, and how I typically do this is I lay the OmniGrid on there with the eyelets and match the edge up with the eyelets. Makes everything look nice, clean, straight, and professional. So let's get to it. All right, we just got done sanding, and now we're going to pre-buff it, which means taking off all the rough burrs and whatnot. You can finish on this step, or you can go to the polishing, but that's going to be in another video. So let's get started. All right, so that was the pre-buff. What I'm using here is an ultra-fine aluminum oxide wheel. That's what we use at NSR Tactical, and it works great for us. So you can send this out just like this, but we would then move on to the polishing stage. So that's going to be for another video. All right, that concludes our tutorial. My name is Dave White. I'm owner of nsrtactical.com. Follow us on Facebook as NSR Tactical Gear and on Instagram as just NSR Tactical. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.